Okay, it is 7:03 p.m. It is Tuesday, December the 14th, 2021. Welcome to week number 6. This is it. There are no more weeks after this. And so be ready to get all of your work in by Friday, which is the 17th at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Any work turned in after that will not be accepted, cannot be accepted. And you should be aware of that. So don't think the 18th, 19th, or the 20th you could turn in work. It's not going to happen in terms of any credit. That applies to any quizzes that you might start and that carry over, because it has to be completed by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Let's go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Calendar. Let's take a look at that for one last time. Real short. Initial post due tonight for week 6. The lectures now. And Friday, course end. Your written assignment and your discussion post and your key phrase is due on the 17th. And again, like I said, it all ends right here. Doesn't go over to here, doesn't go over to here. So be aware of that. I've only mentioned that once every week since this course has started. Okay. Here is the announcement that also reiterates the same thing I just said a few minutes ago. Module 6, Drug-Related Criminal Activity, Treatment and Rehabilitation Strategies. That's the topic. Chapter 10 of the text and the PowerPoint I provided for you to help you study. Treatment related to opioid addiction and drug treatment and rehabilitation programs we'll talk about in our lecture. Discussion assignment is methadone clinics. And notice again that the initial post is due tonight and the reply post is due by Friday. Finally, the written assignment, diversion, treatment, and rehabilitation strategies, and the final exam, which is timed. And I stress this time so that you are aware that once you start it, you can't stop it from running. All written assignments, again, are due, repeating what I said earlier, Friday, December the 17th, 2021. The term officially ends Friday night. Again, I've given so many notices in the announcement. And then please take the time to complete the end of quarter student evaluations you received in your email. And I ask that you finish strong. Now, I want to say, as we start week 6, the final lectures topic, drug-related criminal activities, treatment and rehabilitation strategies. One of the things, let's see, it says something to me warning me about my volume. Can you hear me pretty good? You can type yes or no in the chat box. Okay, I don't know what that note meant. I don't know. But anyway, during the course of each week, I have stressed, as I will for the final time, the importance of following the rubric. that is strictly how I get my grade from your paper. A few other things that are in there, like for example, one or two, you used Wikipedia as a source, which is a no-no because it's not a credible source, and or either you didn't have enough pages, or either you didn't have citations in the body. That is really, really, really a big feature, not just thrown in there, but to support your statements that you write. And then finally, a reference page. Your format should be with a separate reference page, a separate cover page. When your assignments are turned in to me, they have to be the final. I would recommend that you do drafts, as I've said before, using your rubric as your checklist to check off, to review. And if you see that information is not in there, then you need to do some more research, provide some more information and details. It is very, 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 very important. I read every one of these papers, and I'm looking for the information of our transferable skills to be demonstrated: written and oral communication, demonstration of critical thinking, and demonstrate very clearly that you have those two, and to cover the requirements of the assignment: information technology, using credible sources. And we are doing this to train you as individuals, that you need to be able to do this as a habit, because as a professional, you have to do it. Right now, if I complete some written information, I will give credit with quotes. I will give credit with providing citations in the body and or references at the end. Very important, so that people can be able to know the source that you got your information, and if they wanted to take issue with any of it, they can go to the source that you utilized to prepare your assignments. We don't stress copying and pasting, but we do stress the importance of demonstrating that you have analyzed the topics, that you have included some very important information, such as I said from week one, Dave's history, the information that is shown in that little page that you'll see one last time tonight. If you didn't cover that much, or if you just skirted on it, mentioned just a little bit, I'll let you know you need more information concerning that. So the key thing is, those are the things that make you successful in this class. All right, so let's look at this assignment, the final one. And I've always made it clear that I'm available for questioning, and then I did encourage students to please try to reach out to me as much as you possibly can by text, um, and by text. Let's see, I want to see something here. Let's open this up. Okay, I see what it was telling me now. Can you hear me louder than you did a few minutes ago? Yeah, yeah, there was something in the system that had lowered my headset mic, and that's what it was warning me of. So anyway, um, um, oh, it dropped. Why did it drop? I didn't drop it. Let's put that back up. Okay. Oh, it dropped on its own. I don't know what's going on with this. Uh, where are my settings? audio. Nope, I don't want to switch it. Why it keeps going down? I've never seen that before. Let me put it back up. Maybe it's something I did here. Oh, let's see. It's dropped it again. I don't want that to happen. Okay, let me push this button and see if it changes it. This button, it has to put that. Can you hear me now? Okay. Now, I don't know what happened to the sound. I don't know what's going on today with this. Okay. Testing. I see the mic going. This is not good. Okay, let me share. Okay. All right, so I don't know what happened with the sound. Something happened with the sound, and I couldn't see it. I can't see it when I'm in my shared screen, and it seems like it's working now. Seems like the sound is working. All right. Well, anyway, I want to talk about the written assignment again then. The written assignment is very important that you cover these according to the rubric. And what I was trying to say before is you must make sure that you complete this assignment utilizing each of these columns. The treatment programs, exemplary summary of the different types of treatment programs available for addiction treatment, using details of the type of treatment you'd recommend for Dave. And remember, it's important for you to be aware of that based upon your reading and your research. The diversion strategy, remember we talked about that in the last few weeks with the information I provided concerning the Chicago Police Department and also concerning the state of Illinois with the Senate bill that I sent you that created this program. And then there was the Angel program that was mentioned in Module 5 in Massachusetts. I think it was Gloucester, Massachusetts. And then I encourage you to check through your own areas to locate and find information that is there as well for diversion. Because diversion is, remember, going from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, taking you to 180 degrees in the direction that you are going with. And then finally, dealing with the two other strategies, treatment. Remember, it's important to treat the individual for the addiction as well as the issue of mental health as well. And the key thing is if you don't address both of them, you're going to release a person who's going to end up being a recidivist because you haven't taken care of the issue. Locating a rehabilitation strategy that would help benefit Dave, and then benefits to Dave in additional resources dealing with his mental health and addiction. Using credible sources, I've already told you about that, citations in the body and references at the end. And then it should be a 2 to 3 page paper. It's very important, okay? And that's the way that the week 6 assignment needs to be completed. It's what I've tried to stress throughout the entire course, okay? All right, let's take a look at and see the chat. Okay. All right. So I apologize for that sound issue, but I don't know what happened. Something happened where it just kept going up and down, up and down. So I don't know. That's one of the things with technology that we run into a problem with. Now let's look at the discussion assignment. So you're going to utilize these facts that according to the disease control and prevention, methadone is the most effective treatment for opioid addiction. And you're going to discuss the pros and cons of methadone. And I'm going to talk about that tonight during the lecture. In your first post, which is due tonight, argue one-sided argument whether methadone clinics are an appropriate option. Be sure to provide discussion about what the community feels about it and the concerns that might exist. In your reply post, which is due Friday, respond to a student who argued a contrary position than what you argued and presented in your first post. All right. And again, I repeat, those are due by Friday night. All right. And then, of course, your final exam, which I'm not going to click on because you will see the questions. It's a 60-minute exam. Closed book. It is, I repeat, timed. It is timed. And you want to make sure that you're aware of that once you start it. And by the way, I do want to tell you, when I say it's timed, if it's not completed by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 17th, it will not show up to be graded, or you only get the number of points that you have up to the point at 11:59 p.m. So it's very important that you don't wait until like the last hour to do that, because of the fact that you could have some other issues that occur. And then your live classroom phrase is also due. So we got two areas that we're going to talk about. Treatment related to opioid addiction. And as you've known from the beginning of this course, that we have a crisis that is taking place. We delved more into it last week with the Chasing the Dragon video that we went over. There's one for chasing heroin also, but we're not going to go through that because it's almost 2 hours. But if you want to, look at it to pique your interest, there's a link down at the bottom. But as you know, opioid um, addiction has put individuals in situations where it basically deprived them of life. They still have existence, but no life. There's problems with being able to function as an individual should live. And it says here that people feel hopeless and defeated, and their social skills either are gone, people don't want to be bothered with them. And so it is important for us to recognize that we provide support for people like that. As a pastor of a church, we help people with those. We're not counselors, but we can work in conjunction with the counseling that those individuals receive, and represent individuals or parties who can hold them accountable to following up for getting the treatment. It's just like if you know someone is supposed to go to the doctor and they're not going to the doctor or taking their medicine, that you assist them in taking their medicine or going to the doctor. Provide rides or support to encourage them. Demonstrate to them love, and that's what many people need. And it's a strong thing to overcome these challenges. And so when individuals do begin dealing with the opioid, they begin to chase whatever that is that they're, whether it's heroin or cocaine. When they say chase it, they get a high and they try to achieve a higher high. And what they do is they increase the dose of the substance. And it is not easy for those individuals to kick this. And so as a result, there's what we call withdrawal symptoms, and restlessness, muscle and bone pain, insomnia, diarrhea, vomiting, cold flashes, and sweating. And um, bupropion, bupropion, and methadone is one of the ways that individuals are assisted with withdrawals. Now, I'm a person who believes um, an excessive use of methadone is not beneficial, because as it says in our little blurb here, it's addictive as well. And if you don't get your dose, you're going to fall back into the same situation, sometimes even worse than before. And it is also able to be detected on drug tests for people who need to do that for their employment. And it doesn't eliminate the problem. All it really does is slaps on what I refer to as a Band-Aid. And so I'm kind of leery against it. Another argument is that it postpones the necessary hard work of abstinence. That's the only thing that's going to get you to it. It's really difficult. If you think it's hard going on a fast and or eating less when you have a lifestyle where you're accustomed to eating a lot, and then all of a sudden you end up having to change your eating habits in order to survive, if you think that's difficult, multiply that probably by 100 times or more with a person who has found themselves spiraling down to become an opioid addict and trying to kick that habit. It is something that requires 100, probably 100 to 110% of your effort, with counseling, meetings, having a sponsor, someone to help you in a network. And it says here in our little blurb before we switch over, is some studies indicate that over 70% of the people relapse after they stop using methadone. So my point being is that methadone is, it's like something you have to do for the rest of your life, each and every single day. And then this video, Chasing Heroin, which I highly recommend you looking at. It is probably one of the things. So what is it that you can possibly prescribe? Maybe methadone, but remember what you're really doing, you're switching the drug for a drug. And that the key thing is getting a person in a program. That's why a lot of outpatient programs don't work very well for most people, because of the fact that they're in such a state at that time that they're exposed to things that trigger. They may be exposed to the same people who they're associated with when they got high. You have to start all over again, basically. So, and if you don't do it, you're either going to prematurely die, either from overdose or drugs, or you're going to get killed, or hurt someone that cause you to spend the rest of your life behind bars, which is no bargain at all for you. Okay. Let's go to the next section and the final section. So let's look at, you know, The thing that a lot of people don't understand is that there are treatment programs like the 12 step that Alcoholics Anonymous, and we're just going to close by talking about those. But as I referred to earlier, um, individuals um, respond in a way that inpatient is long term and can be expensive. Stays up to 6 to 12 months. That means that's like being in jail. However, the thing is that you're attempting to detox. Now, as you saw last week in Chasing the Dragon, there were some examples of people who had gone through long-term inpatient residential treatment, and they still continued to use after that, because it depends on the ability of that individual to stay focused. Okay. Um, they help individuals, these 6 to 12 month programs, to change their direction. In other words, take them from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock and have them to start a new life. There's also what we call short term, which would detox or assist with your changing your body's call for the drug. But it says residential treatment also aids in the preparation of individuals. The length of stay is typically 30 days. Be honest with you, once again, the success ratio for most of those types of programs are pretty low, pretty low. And then there's the outpatient counseling, where it teaches you skills and ability, and you're given a recovery plan. And with the outpatient, you have group counseling in addition to the individual counseling to provide accountability and reinforcement towards recovery. But again, I keep stressing this to you. It is something that the person is going to have to adopt themselves. And as we conclude with the 12-step program, you'll understand why I said those things. Peers, as I already talked about earlier, play an important part in whether or not you're able to overcome your issue. The 12-step program provides support, and it's important to deal with that with substance abuse disorder. For opioid addiction, medication-assisted treatment with methadone, bupropion, or extended relief injectable naproxen, you know already about that. That's Narcan is one of them. Plays a role in treatment, and they ease the pain of withdrawals and quicken the transition to recovery. And the key thing is you have to be completely recovered in order to resume a natural life. And so we conclude by talking about the Alcoholic Anonymous program, which also can apply in overcoming drugs as well. So one of the first points, which is so important, is you're recognizing that you're out of control and that you can't manage your own life. You need some help, some guidance. You need some assistance. You need someone or some kind of structured program that can, again, get you from 12 to 6 o'clock. Takes time. It's not going to be like flicking on a switch, an off switch. And then the way that dissociation happens with AA is number 2, you believe that there's a power greater than yourself, who can help you restore your sanity. Now, there are people that will not like this because they don't believe in God, but it doesn't matter whether you believe in God. It's about your deciding yourself that you can handle it. Or do you have a power greater than yourself? And usually, when we say power greater than yourself, we're not talking about a human being. We're talking about what I, as a Christian, believe in is God. But you can call it whatever you wanna. You can call it karma. You can call it. There's some people who believe in the power of positive thinking. The only problem with that is that you can control when you turn it on or when you off. One of the things that unfortunately happens when people are addicted to drugs and alcohol is that their free will to move from that status is severely damaged or either taken away. And so you'll need that restored by a form that is greater than yourself. 3, make a decision to turn your will over to the care of God as you understand Him. That, reminding you again, I'm talking about the AA method, because that is something that has worked itself. We in ministry, we work through that method and get people to focus on that. I hear people sometimes say, how can I focus on something that I cannot see to sustain me? I just ask one question to them. Is there oxygen in the room? And let them answer that for me. And you know the answer is yes. Say, what does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Well, I don't know, but I know that I have to have it to live and exist. Where did you get your oxygen from? Where? How does it operate? Well, inevitably, I've had a few people to come around and says, you know, you might have something with that God thing. The point of the matter is that we have to be able to turn our lives over to someone who can give us a system that's greater than us. Like I said, it's not easy. Make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. We use in the Bible a paragraph, a passage in First Corinthians that says, "Let a man examine himself or herself." You've heard the song by Michael Jackson called "The Man in the Mirror." That is an image. That's not the person who's doing it. That's an image of the person. It appears to be you, and that is the one that you have to look at carefully. Did you not know you have never seen yourself? You've seen images of yourself. Others can see you, even though they may not know internally what's going on with you, but they can see you. But you see pictures and images of what you look like. And when you look in the mirror, it's an image of who you are. So the key thing is um, you have to take an inventory of yourself. Don't blame it on somebody else. That's one of the worst offenses that you can do, because you will not go anywhere. You will vacillate like a gerbil stuck on a wheel. You go round and around and around. Admit, number 5, to ourselves that I have done something wrong. Yeah, you've done something wrong. Well, I didn't do anything wrong to anybody except myself. Yes, you did. You did things wrong to yourself because you hurt your family. You hurt your opportunities to live a quality life. You hurt your opportunities to socialize with individuals. There are people who don't want to have anything to do with individuals who find themselves in that situation. And also, you'll do things that you wouldn't normally do, such as committing crime. You're not intended to be a criminal. You just have to support that habit. everybody should have that driven in by now. Again, finally, just saying the reason the course is called Drugs and Crime is because there would be a decrease in crime if there was no drug problem. Statistically, you can see when I represented people, I inevitably found that most of my clients who committed crimes either had a drug problem or a mental health problem, or both, one or the other. And a lot of times the mental health problem was made worse by drugs because drugs was an attempt to escape the mental health issues, but it made a bad situation worse. Number 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove. In other words, you're tired of carrying this load around. You're tired of being that way. You're tired of going through the circumstances and situations that you find yourself in on a regular basis. You're ready to go again to 6 o'clock and get you a new start in life. New friends. Sometimes there are certain family members you have to stay away from. You have to eliminate them from your lives. And God knows I have been in a situation where I've done that not because I was dealing with the drugs myself, but because of the things that they would do or could do to you. 7, humbly ask him, God, to remove our shortcomings. A proud spirit that's a user or addicted to drugs is a hard one to break because they think they're already right. They rationalize their decisions, their actions. Number 8, make a list of all the persons you've harmed and become willing to make amends. Turn a new leaf. Number 9, make direct amends to those people whenever possible, except when it would cause others to be injured. Number 10, continue to take personal inventory of when you were wrong and admit it. Accept responsibility. That is one of the things that is really so serious that people don't do. Accept responsibility for their wrongs. They believe that it's just the way it is, but that's not true. Number 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve your conscious contact with God as you understand him, praying only for the knowledge of his will. The key thing is you're back again with a power source that can help you. And I repeat again, spiritual application is good, but I don't shove it down anybody's throat. But what I do is take the principles that I've learned from the Bible in my life to try to enhance the lives of other individuals. My deal is not necessarily to always convert them, and they're not to believe the way to worship the way I worship, but simply to examine the words. That's why one of the good books in the Bible for individuals to read in their lives is Proverbs. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs. And it actually will give you guidance about decision making in your life in every category. There's only 31 chapters in there. So if you read a proverb a day, chapter a day, it'll be like a vitamin. Get those into your spirit. Get those into who you are. Meditate and pray on those things. Number 12, and finally, having a spiritual awakening. And that's what it means. It means slap yourself in the face. Do something. There's a commercial about Aqua Velva, and they call it the Aqua Velva slap because you put this Aqua Velva on. I wear that after I shave, and it kind of like it burns, but it doesn't burn bad. But it does kind of like make you open your eyes a little bit. So the key thing is that what I've talked about is what Alcoholics Anonymous uses to help individuals. And this is um, an idea of a recovery program. Recognize the goal in a recovery program is redirecting the life. And that's why, again, I keep talking about what I was given to share to my students when I teach this class, the clock from 12 o'clock to 6, and recognizing the fact that you don't want to get back to 12 o'clock. You want to stay at 6. That's as far as you want to go, but you want to make 6 o'clock your permanent ground for directions and instructions. And if you move on that 6 o'clock and keep moving in the direction, not going to the left, or you can't go back in time, but not going forward, but keep going, standing on that spot. You can operate on the basis of the way that you do with a car. If you notice you have a rear view mirror, whatever is behind you that's stationary, the further you get away from it, the smaller it becomes. And then if you keep going away from it, it just totally disappears. It's not that it disappeared, it's just that you moved in a direction away from it, giving yourself a new opportunity. And so that is what I've tried to stress today to you. You see more information in your readings of your material that you have. And I'm pretty much done with the information that I wanted to share with you for this week. Well, I want to say this. Well, first I'll give you the key phrase, and it's something that is ever so important to me to recognize that it is critical for us to recognize, and that is drug treatment. Drug treatment. We must handle that issue before we can give more time in jail, 3-time offenders, repeat offenders. We can find ourselves in a situation where people will become like gerbils stuck on the wheel. But drug treatment. Give me drug treatment and you got your points. Well, I've come to the end. This course is completed. I've already given the parameters about when assignments are due. And I just want to say a few parting words to you. I hope that you have learned, number one, that I am a professor who make myself available to help you, but I can only go halfway. You got to meet me halfway. You got to let me know you have an issue. Even if we have to go over that same issue 100 times, it still doesn't matter. When I know that you have an issue that you want me to help you with, I will help you with it. But I gotta know. And I've given you, starting from day one, the parameters of you can text me, call me, email me any hour of the day, except the 25th hour of the day. That wasn't a promotional statement. That was a fact. And so I wish the best for each and every one of you in your future classes. I have had many students that have started out with me in drugs and crime, and have seen them in later classes as well. And I've seen them go from their associates to the bachelor's degree. I've seen some go as far as wanting to go to law school, and they reach back out to me, and I do everything I possibly can to help them. So it's important for you to understand something that you gained in the course about me in terms of my approach to you. I've had a few students to come back and say, you spend a lot of time going over the rubrics I said, I do for a good reason. I have spent a lot of time going over the instructions. I have good reason. I have taught this class for several years and have learned what mistakes commonly are made by students. And I try to help you in the future not to repeat those same mistakes. The final thing I want to say is for you to understand that it is you've been talking about the pandemic and the different variants that are coming. I got news for you. The opioid addiction issue is extremely dangerous to the well-being of all of us. We can even beat the pandemic by getting, the proper treatment. I chose to get my shots. I got all 3 of them. I got my flu shot. Took some time to teach me to want to take it, but I still did it. I got my shingle shot. I got all the shots that I can possibly get in this old body of mine that's 71 years old. And so what I tell you though is that, and with the things that I've lived in my life, if you listen to my story, Adversity is the Springboard to Success, that I presented to you, you will understand. I can tell you things. I can relate to people going through challenges, empathize. But I'll tell you the final thing. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make you drink. I have had opportunities to try to help people, and they've come back and reported things that weren't true. But just understand this. I'm just going to keep on being who I am, keep teaching the way that I am. As God given me the strength, I have a sound mind. I have what they call a photographic memory. I was discussing today with my wife that I can remember my zip codes all the way back from when I was a kid and have moved a number of times. And I can remember the zip codes back from all of those locations that I lived. Well, that's the same thing I try to operate in terms of experiences in life. And that's why I try to impart to students. I enjoy teaching this class because it's more about the socialization, about the environment that you will be working in law enforcement. And the criminal justice system is the way it is partially and in most part because of the drugs and the mental health. But we don't turn our heads. We don't lock people up. We don't tase people away or shoot them and those kind of things. We don't put them on an island and no. We're civilized. We deal with the treatment because just think of it like this. You're actually part assistance to the medical or the health department because of the fact that it's all about the health, whether it's mental health, physical health of those individuals that will determine whether they become recidivists or not, and whether we are patient enough to apply the techniques that will result in salvaging those individuals. Well, I'm going to say good night. Wish you guys a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever holidays you celebrate. And I'll look forward to seeing some of you next term, which starts the 3rd of January. I will be teaching in first term, actually, contemporary issues in criminal justice, which is a survey course that usually students take as they're near the time of getting their associates. And then the other course, that is a foundational course, and that's Introduction to Corrections, where I'll have a chance to also elaborate on some of the principles in this class as well. So I will be teaching that in the first section of T1, and then I will be teaching, let's see, I'll give it to you in a second, starting T2, term 2, which begins in February, and that is just going over it with my dean today. Let's see. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. So for the winter term, I'll be teaching a course that I won't see you guys, business law, which I've taught before. That'll be in term number 2, which starts February 9th. And then I will be teaching, this course, drugs and crime, again. And then introduction to criminal law as well, which a lot of people took together with this. So with that, have again, a safe holiday. Take care of yourself. Again, if you need anything, you know what to do. Let me know. Let me know. Please refrain from 11:55 messages telling me something at the last second. There's a lot of students I know that will find themselves in situations and they're trying to figure out how to talk to me. Open your mouth, give me a call, and let's talk. Emailing is not the best way to do it at this particular junction anyway. I've already said that, so for those who are curious, that background thing that you see there, that's a green screen, which I'll be starting my radio show again, starting the first Saturday in January, 5 to 6 o'clock on an internet radio station called WVTC. And I'll be on 5 to 6 o'clock p.m. Central. And I will tell you, people are my friends on Facebook, Richard Wright JD, can connect through there. Or you can Google the radio station WVTC. There's an app that is available in the Play Store for Android and in the Apple Store for individuals who have Apples. Okay, so that's what that is. So I'm going to be heavily involved. My job is communication and sharing and helping people. Good night. Again, see you in 2022.